In front of me right now we have a box for an OBSBOT camera. In this video we're going to take a look at it and see what it can do. Let's get started. So let's get straight into it. This is an OBSBOT Tail Air, and this is a 4K 30fps AI streaming camera from a pretty cool company called OBSBOT. Now, where do we open it? Now, there's a label saying peel here, so potentially we just rip this off. Let's just slice the tape maybe, and that'll get us somewhere. There we go, and then the top. Cool, we've got it. It's open. Now, before I go any further, I will say that this was sent to me for review by OBSBOT themselves. They didn't pay me to make the review, but they sent a free product, which is what we're looking at here. Now, immediately on top of the box is, I think, potentially a remote, maybe? Let's open this up. What have we got? So this opens from here. It's got some weight to it, whatever it is. It is indeed a remote. Let's get it out of the package. Here we go. Oh wow, look at that. Okay. It's got a joystick on it. A ton of buttons. Looks like you can set some presets here. Wow, that looks good. I'm very excited to check that one out and see what we can do with it. Next thing in the box, we've got, looks to be a separate package here. A PoE injector, I think this is. It is USB-C to Ethernet. Now, I did talk to OBSBOT when they were looking to send this to me. I asked them if they supported PoE on it. They said, yes, it supports PoE with this adapter, but I'm not sure if this adapter is included with the regular package or if this is just something they sent to me to be nice. But we'll have to have a look. It looks pretty good though. We'll take a quick look inside. All right, let's open it the correct way. So we've got a user guide and a warranty policy. And then we have the adapter itself in a little plastic package right here. Wow, that's actually really premium. Like, this has got some weight to it. So it's got a USB-C connector here and then one on the other end. So presumably, oh, okay, so maybe you could power it. So if you didn't have a PoE switch, you could maybe power it via USB-C and then just do data through here. But if you have PoE, you should be able to just do it with the one port down here. That is pretty cool. That's a well-designed little adapter right there. And it's even got a little OBSBOT logo on it. All right, let's return to the box. What else have we got? Looks like probably the main event right here. This is well wrapped. I like this. This feels like a really nice little package. All right, here we go. A lot of bubble wrap. Here it is, the OBSBOT camera itself. Now, I believe, let me just check for you guys. So it looks like it starts, for the standard kit, based on the Kickstarter page, it starts at $759 Australian dollars. If you want the remote control, that's an extra $100. And then on top of that, if you want the power up kit, which comes with a PoE adapter, like a little carrying case maybe, and another cable there, that's $1,044 on the Kickstarter page. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Looks like it's got a mobile app and some cool little features advertised on the back, but we'll probably get a better view when the plastic's off of it. So we'll slice that right there, peel it. So wow, so the box has a little design on the front like that. It's got the Tail Air logo right there. And then on the back, you can maybe see some of the features. Hopefully that shows up in the video, all right? There you go. Yeah, let's lift it up and see what we get. Nothing on the inside, but looks like it's got a little note right here. Mastermind on air. And it slides open, or, oh, it slides out. We've got quick start guide and the warranty policy right here. Looks like the camera is in a case right now, so it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be from the photos, which may be a good thing depending on how good of a video it outputs. If it's a really good picture, then I'll be super impressed with this because it's kind of like a travel size almost. All right, let's open this up then. So this is the case it comes with. This case may not be included in the regular kit, but you'll have to check the website for that one. But let's open it up. Here we go. So what have we got here? It's like a USB dongle there. And let's just open all these up. So first is a USB-C to USB-C cable. Next is a USB-C splitter, little adapter thing here. So it's got two USB-C ports at the bottom, and then it's got a male port on top. I wonder what that's for. It's got a lightning port, so maybe it's for charging of some sort. Yep, so this USB is also in the package, and it's got USB-A to USB-C on the top. And now for the main event, let's get this out. So just lift it out gently. And here we are. It's actually a really small little camera here. The actual little case as well is kind of indented for it, like it's perfectly designed. I like that. But yeah, let's put this down. So we've got the OBSBOT logo there, then the camera itself. You must have to tilt all the way around. There we go. There's the camera. Looks like there might be some indicator LEDs here. Going around the back, there's that looks like an SD card slot, like a micro SD card slot, and that port there I can't really see too well, but it might be a mini HDMI or like a micro HDMI maybe. There's also a power button here and a USB-C port, and then there's some ventilation. Looks like there might be a microphone here, and this one here is the 3.5mm audio jack as well. All right, so let's get straight into it. The PoE adapter is what I'm going to be using for this video. So to get it set up, we're just going to plug that right into the USB-C port. Where is it? Over here. We'll grab the internet in a cable and plug that into the PoE port right here. As of me recording this video, the app isn't on the Play Store just yet, but it is coming really shortly. As a result of that though, I have to download from the OBSBOT website, which is a bit slow, so this will be a few minutes. Okay, so the download's done, and the first thing you get upon opening the app is a login page. So unfortunately, it looks like you need to log in with an account to activate this device, so my only option here is to register. So here's a weird one. You can't have a password longer than 20 characters. That is a bit of a security risk, OBSBOT. You should up that limit to 64 at least. All right, so I've registered, and now it wants the ability to determine whether there's nearby devices. That's fine. Looks like it's found the device already. It says it's at 14% battery. It is indeed a camera, so I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask for location. I'll give it access this time. And here we go, we're now in it. So it's saying no SD card, and there's an update available. So let's just do that beforehand. Looks like it's just for firmware. Well, that adds quite a few features actually, we might as well grab that. Update was successful. Firmware's been updated to 5051. So this is the interface of the app itself. Maybe this one is what I want. Ooh. Okay. So now you can see me. Let's move around a bit, see what we can find. This is the setup at the moment. It's a bit messy. And this is a pan tilt zoom camera. So in theory, if I wanted to, I could zoom in. Oh wow. So it does it in the corner, I see. But it does look like it is just software zoom though. It's not like optical zoom, where it's super duper high quality. That is fine though. All right, what else can we do in here? We've got an A button. So wide angle, looks like speed, shutter speed maybe? Looking for composition, okay, cool. What do these buttons on the side do? Oh, okay, so it's like the recording mode and stuff like that. You can flip the video, add the bars, turn on or turn off HDR. HDR always looks better off on a non-HDR video. So there's this button here. There's an album, there's some advanced options. So you can go in here, you can set up gestures for AI. So if you like hold your hand up to it, you can do different functions. That's really cool. You can even do a zoom, a record. That's amazing. Got a built-in mic that's on or off. I'm gonna leave that off for now. It looks like the mic's okay. So UVC is a pretty popular standard for USB video. So you can plug this directly into a phone using UVC, and then that would pick it up as a video device. So you could capture from it that way. That's pretty handy. We've also got NDI in here and RTSP. We'll come back to NDI in a sec. I just want to see what other options we've got. So there's tail air settings. You got power on shooting, auto power off, power settings in there. There's buzzer options, video segmentation, 4 gig. So that must be if you want to break up videos into different sections, you can do it that way. All right, so let's go back to NDI and let's see if we can get that working. At the moment on the Indiegogo page, it's the only place where you can buy it. But all of these come with the NDI license key. Now imagine it's just for the Indiegogo page. Once it gets released properly, I expect that the code is probably not going to be included with the camera itself, and you'll have to purchase that separately. Okay, so NDI is now being activated. So we unlocked NDI mode as well as media settings in here. Oh, this might have been here already, but we can change frame rate. Looks like 30 is the max. You can use H.265 if you want there. The bitrate's high, that's good. 4K is perfectly good for me. I wonder if you change that, if that unlocks 60 FPS. It does. That is good. So you can do 1080-60, but you can see it does do a bit of a crop on the video right there, which is okay. Now for NDI, same options. You got medium, high bitrate. I'm going to make that high. I'm going to make that 4K as well. So this message seems to mean that if you want to output, you can only do one output with 4K resolution. So it's got HDMI out on it with a little mini HDMI connector. And if you want to use that and change it to 4K, then the resolution for NDI or recording drops down to 1080. I think will be better to have the NDI connection be high res, because that's what we're going to be using for now. Let's turn on NDI again. So after you enable that, it looks like it disables the HDMI output and the UVC as well as RTSP, which is okay. You only really need to stream to one thing at once, but that's all good. That's just something to keep in mind if you do have that requirement. So let's switch to a PC and we'll see if we can get it working in OBS. Okay, so I'm now on the PC and I'm just in OBS at the moment, but what I'm going to just try and do is add the NDI source in here for the Tailbot and just check if it shows up. It looks like it does. So let's add that and we'll leave the settings as they are. And there you go. There it is. Let's make it a bit bigger just for reference. Here it is. Here's the video itself. That actually looks really, really nice for what it is. Like you can look at the details, like even the detail on that little lock on the rack is so good. And you can see my software open there. Like I'm surprised how well it reacts to the lighting on the monitor there as well. What we can also do is if we open NDI Studio Monitor, this one here, we should be able to control it from the NDI app itself. So let's just change to the source. So if we click on settings down here, it brings up a control page. Now I imagine this will eventually be integrated directly into the NDI Studio Monitor, because other cameras do seem to be able to change it. But looking in here, we can move the camera around with the web browser. Now, obviously you probably wouldn't be doing this in a studio kind of setup just because you have the remote, like literally sitting right here. That's so cool. Okay, can I zoom in? Oh my God. There you go. So you'd probably just use this thing instead, right? And you can see as well, for streaming this video with NDI, we're using about 50 megabits on OBS, but as we like generate more video, I imagine it'll go up a little bit. Yeah, kind of. Now it is a bit stuttery, probably because it doesn't like me having it open in two places. So let me open it over here instead again. So if we go back to OBS and use the projector here, it should be a bit better. It's not designed to transmit to multiple streams at once, just the one device. So here it is in just OBS, and that looks really, really smooth. Like you can gradually move it around. You can do panning shots. So if I just try and get like the right angle. Yeah, look at that. Look how smooth that is. You can see the mess from the cable I run out of my rack. You can see some Star Wars stuff up here. So if you want to zoom in on that, you could do it. If you want to look at the camera lens even, let's make them face each other. Now we'll do a side-by-side in just a moment, comparing my Sony mirrorless camera with the Tailbot Air. I am curious to see if they differ in quality as like a webcam kind of setup.
I think the field of view will be a bit different, so it'll be interesting to see that at least. Zoom out again. It's so good having pan tilt zoom. Like that's one of the coolest things about it. Let me see if I can get the remote set up real quick. So we'll just open that up now.
So the remote itself, it looks like it has a USB-C port on the side, right there. It looks like there's also a way of charging it in some kind of dock or some other device, maybe included in one of the more expensive kits. But there's a power button right here. If we hit that, it should turn on and give us control in theory. Maybe it needs a charge beforehand. Let's get the first proper view from using the remote. Looks like it lights up here as well. So it's Bluetooth, which is really, really cool. So you can use this without being anywhere near the device. Like Bluetooth has a range of, I think, like 20 meters or something crazy. And unlike IR, you don't have to point it at the device. You can have it like anywhere. You can have a wall between yourself and the camera. But yeah, you can move that around now. And looking at the options on here, there's a record button, there's a photo button. Let's take a photo of this, see what it does. Oh yeah, you can't take photos because it's in NDI mode, but that's fair enough. What else have we got? You've got the on-off button there. You've got something called multi-screen mode right here. You've also got an indicator up the top, so when you press buttons, it does stuff here. Going down, there's a photo button and a record button. There's the joystick for moving the camera around gradually or really quickly if you want. Under that, there's the human tracking button, which is not available at the moment. Next is the laser close-up button. And what this seems to do is point a laser around the room using the remote. That's pretty cool. So will this follow the laser? Let's say I want to focus on like the key light up here. Surely it doesn't just, oh my God. So you can basically, you hold it down, you point the laser around where you want it to focus on, and let's just zoom out to show you what happens. So let's say I want it to be, I don't know, over here somewhere. You put it there, and it will zoom in, just like that. That is so cool. All right, well, that is what laser tracking does. We'll have to experiment with this more. But the next button here is animal tracking. So I assume if you had like a cat or something in your room, you could just have it follow the cat around. Next thing is preset positions. So you can set 3 different presets here. And down at the bottom, you've got camera controls. So you can pair this with 3 different cameras at once, and you can just switch between them using these buttons down here. There's also a custom button down here, so you can configure this to do whatever you want. And going back to the side, there's the on-off switch there. And there's the zoom in, zoom out buttons right there. So what we'll do next is if you have a look on the video right here, let's zoom in all the way. Right here is a little tripod for my mirrorless camera normally, or a webcam. I'm gonna plug in the Sony camera up there, and we'll see how good it looks. And then we'll switch over to the Tail Air, because the Tail Air actually has a 1/4 inch tripod mount at the bottom. And you can use that to put it on a tripod or a key light stand or anything like that if you want. So we'll just do a quick comparison now and see what it looks like.
All right, so before we start, I think it'd be good to get a bit of a baseline. So this is not the Sony camera. This is a Logitech C920 webcam, and it does not look great. What I normally did with this is I used NVIDIA Broadcast. So this is software zoom. It's not hardware zoom on the camera itself, but if I zoom in a bit using this, you can kind of get a usable image out of it. It gets a bit blurry and pixely as you zoom in, so it's not the greatest for video. And this is not too bad. Like if you have kind of okay lighting, like I sort of do, then you can definitely make this work. Like there's not really anything wrong with this. If I was to turn off the light, then you'd maybe have a problem. It's a bit bad. All right, so this is being shot on the Sony Alpha A6400 mirrorless camera. And what I like to normally do with this is I zoom in a little bit just to get a better view for a face cam. So it generally ends up looking something like this, and it looks all right, I feel, for what I need. It stays in focus, and it just outputs via HDMI to my capture card, and that's how I bring it into OBS. Now, the good thing about NDI though is it's a lot easier to get into OBS. You don't have to use a capture card. You can just directly connect to it from OBS because it's built in with NDI tools. Okay, so here we are with the TailBot Air, and this has an absolutely insane field of view. Like you can see so much of this room from the same spot. Now, if you were to zoom this in, now I don't think this is optical zoom. So let's see how good it looks. Probably wouldn't go that far. Maybe around there is realistic. So yeah, this is kind of how that would look. I think that's pretty good. Like compared to the webcam, it's a lot better. But also, it's not optical zoom like the Sony is. So you'd want to have it kind of close to where your subject is. Like if you're far away from the camera and you have to zoom it in like this, it's not going to be amazing, but it is an option if you need to, and it's going to look like this. And the bonus of this is, as well, is that you can just kind of tilt it. Like if you wanted to focus on something else, mine's a bit weird because I have it on an angle, but here's something I'm working on now. I'm looking to get some fans installed in this rack. So I've made a little shelf type thing here where it's got 4 AC Infinity fans with some foam wrapped around it, and it's just USB powered. So I'm just going to get some USB adapters in the rack and power it via USB. It's got 3 speed settings, so you can set it to low, medium, or high. This is the max zoom right here, so I can see there's a low, medium, and high setting and an off setting as well on that remote. And these are just little USB fans, so they're pretty cool. Yeah, that's insane. Like if you wanted to show something off, like this is the bottom of my monitor, or the back of my monitor, sorry. This is my keyboard. This is my Stream Deck and my other monitor and my key light that's making this room very bright. And over here is my, well, it's probably going to be bad because it's going through a bunch of light, but this is my VR tracker. This actually works really, really well. And for reference as well, if there's no lighting, this is kind of what it looks like. So here's an idea of a low light performance. There's still lighting above me in the room. So if I just turn that off as well, this is now a pitch black room with nothing but monitors illuminating me and, well, RGB, but you can kind of see that, but it still manages to hold up like that. That'd be okay for a Twitch stream or something. Like you'd know what you're looking at, I guess. But anyway, I've got to say, I am very impressed with this. Like the amount of adjustments you can make and the fact that you can tilt it, like the pan tilt zoom is so seamless to use. It is amazing, especially if you're trying to like show something off. Like if you're streaming and you're not like a game streamer, like you're like an IRL streamer or something like I don't know, you're putting something together, you're cooking something, you're making something, destroying something, whatever it is, you can just get right up close and point out what you're trying to point out without having to mess with software, without having to have a computer nearby and all that sort of stuff. Because you can use this from a mobile app and you can record as well to an SD card. So there is no need to have network connectivity. If you use the remote, you can just kind of bypass that entirely and use it standalone. All right, so I've just switched it over to Wi-Fi and it does support 5 gigahertz. It maxes out at Wi-Fi 5, so it doesn't support Wi-Fi 6 or 6E, but that'll be fine for the kind of data that it needs to stream. I've got control of it from my phone here. So what we can just try is just picking it up and taking it somewhere. What I'll do as well is I'll now switch to the built-in microphone. So we'll see what that's like as well. It's a bit far away now, so don't judge it yet, but when we get closer to it, we'll see how it goes. So I'm now in a kitchen and I'll just show you. Here's some other things I bought today. I've got a PoE splitter and some Ethernet cables. Here is a room with a thwomp. There is the thwomp. There's also a cat hiding over there. You can just see. Here are some foam panels that are going to be going in a rack soon. Here's some, well, Minecraft and Mario stuff, mostly. Not the best lighting over here. We've got a signed signature poster thing of David Tennant. And we've also got one of John Krasinski right here, which is pretty cool, I feel. There's a Darth Vader, don't worry about him. There's some other stuff. There's a Pikachu with sunglasses, and here's some Game Expo tags things. Anyway, that ends this room. Okay, so what I'm gonna try now is just using the human tracking feature. So if I double tap this, it seems to have picked me up right away. And now, let me just hold my phone in a way that doesn't look like I'm actually touching it. I think it's just gonna, oh wow, that's so sick. So it follows you around the space you've got and it like centers you in the frame. That's so cool. You can imagine like, if you're in a room, like if you had this in a corner of a room
and you were working like cleaning out a room or like moving stuff around, this would be so handy to have. And because it's 360 degrees, like I can go all the way around. Like, how quick is it? That's so sick. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, right, if we go back and we look at the OBS feed, it's a live view because it's using NDI.
So to conclude this review, I think this is a really cool product. Now, if you had 3 of these, you could get really creative, like especially if you had them all running the human tracking. Imagine how cool that would be, being able to just switch between scenes and get the best view of your subject at all times. That'd be amazing. And you can do a lot of that with the remote because the remote supports 3 devices, as you can see here. So there's a lot of room for expansion as well. Like you get multiple of these cameras, there's nothing stopping you. Now to summarize the actual features, it's got 4K resolution, it's got AI auto tracking, it supports NDI, which is a big one that's hard to find in most cameras, especially little rechargeable ones like this. It's also got multiple methods of connection, so you can use HDMI, you can use UVC, so you can connect it directly to a phone if you want to do like Facebook live streams or like something else on a mobile app. You could plug your phone directly into the camera. You can also charge it via Ethernet as well if you want. It's also got something called AI directed grids, which allows you to have kind of a grid view of all your different views and switch between them as you want. That can be pretty cool. And there's also a mobile app, of course, as we showed, so you can start recording, stop recording, do all the pan, tilt, zoom stuff. You can also adjust the camera settings and start a stream via NDI or directly to a streaming server if you want. But if you're using the standalone and you're just recording directly to the SD card, that is a really cool feature, is just being able to control it all from the one place on your phone. Not many cameras let you do that. So anyway, guys, in the description, you'll see some release details for the camera itself, as well as an affiliate link in case you guys want to pick one up and play with it for yourself. I believe that's a 5% discount off the regular price, so I'd recommend using that if you can. And again, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Maybe check out my Discord or join me on Twitch if you want. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.